So you basically chase the water content out of the food. You follow so far? So if we are mainly made of water and we chase the water content out of the food, then what happens when you consume it based off of that preparation?
It's going to suck out all your
sucks
water.
out your hydration. And then when you don't have any hydration and you're dehydrated, what's going to happen?
You're going to get sick.
Welcome to another episode of the Human Blueprint, and in this episode we've been getting a lot of questions about the vegan burgers, like the Beyond Burger,
Impossible Burger,
and so we wanted to address those questions on this podcast.
So go ahead.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Opinion.
My opinion is that I'm conflicted. The bad part about this is that we know it's fast food. It's probably not the most healthiest for you. But on the positive front, it does allow people who are against eating vegetables and they all wanted was meat, now they're more open to this. And maybe it'll change their lifestyle. Maybe they'll, again, eat more vegetables down the road or something. So I'm very conflicted.
I would have to agree mainly with what you're suggesting and your opinion. I do think that it's maybe a better alternative, but when I say that, I don't necessarily think it's like the best alternative. Like, it may just be 5% better, but it's not a complete world better. I think it's better in the sense that these companies are creating these burgers, and that means that there's less killing of the animals. So I'm kind of interested in that, because that means that less animals have to suffer.
And less impact on our environment and everything else. And again, I don't know if this is just a trend that's just going to be a fad for a few years, or if it's just, everyone's going to shift over to plant-based meals.
What do you think? What do you predict in your opinion?
I think this is not a fad. I think this is where everyone's eventually going to go, because we understand, even if you're not a vegan, you still understand there's an impact on the environment. We still care about our planet. And this is a very simple way of helping the planet. And in terms of from the business perspective, they can capitalize on this. They can make a lot of money for their shareholders.
I agree. I think that if money's being made by bigger companies, then why would they stop? I guess from a consumer standpoint, if people are open to trying it and vegan is like a big trend that people are tapping into, then I guess it can only be consumed more.
I know for some of the people, like my friends, who refuse to eat anything that's not meat, tried eating this, and they really enjoyed the sensation and experience. And I don't know what it's like. Okay, I haven't tried it, but that tells me the businesses are caught onto something. They figured out how to get people to shift their focus on meats, but buy into another product. So KFC just launched their vegan chicken burger or whatever it was. It sold out in 4 days. Nobody thought that it was going to sell out like that. Right? So this is where the demand is showing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of ads too, like Tim Hortons came out with the breakfast one, and I bought my parents one, a burger, the Beyond Burger, and they tried it and they liked it. Like, my dad was like raving about it and he was like, this is better than the real thing. So I guess that part excites me, because I want to see them get healthier. And although it's not the healthiest meal you could have, it is perhaps maybe a better choice, because it's not having as much of a footprint on the planet.
And I understand that, but one thing we have to understand is we can't just focus all the time on what we eat, but we have to focus on how it's prepared. So do you make that burger in a steam, in a soup, in a stir fry? Like, how do you make that burger?
So I'm assuming it's like high heat, a lot of maybe oil or fried.
Yeah.
And part of their sides aren't going to be the best.
Right? Yeah. And so that's why, if we understand this part, when you put it on the grill, because that's how you make it, when you put it on the grill, what's the grill designed to do? That preparation of food, what's that designed to do?
Cook it.
Okay. But burn. Okay. So how does it get burnt?
High heat.
So you basically chase the water content out of the food. You follow so far? So if we are mainly made of water and we chase the water content out of the food, then what happens when you consume it based off of that preparation?
It's going to suck out all your
sucks
water.
Out your hydration. And then when you don't have any hydration and you're dehydrated, what's going to happen?
You're going to get sick.
Right? So that's why it should not be consumed on a regular basis, because of how it's prepared. And that's what we have to be cautious of in today's world. You look at everything, it's fried, deep fried, broiled, grilled, right? Everything has to have that crunch, otherwise no one's going to feel like it has any taste. But it's because they took the hydration out of it. And then you look at the diseases that are prevalent now, that are on the rise. It's because there's not enough hydration to take care of this, so then everything else suffers.
So even though the burger is made from vegetables, it's still sucking the hydration
because
out?
Of how you prepare the food.
So then there's really not that much nutrition in it, if any.
No, not too much. And that's why you have to be cautious of how you prepare the food to ensure that you can maximize the amount that you absorb. And when you eat it, that's fried, deep fried, crunchy, broiled, baked, barbecued, what it does is it chases all the hydration out. So then how much is left of the nutrition?
Not much.
Plus, like you said, the sides that go along with it, like...
Oh, forget the dressing.
Right.
How much fatten's in that?
Yeah, exactly. And
right.
You're probably going to have like a soft drink with it. So it's not a healthy meal. But again, that's why I'm conflicted. Because we know it's you can't keep consuming this. But it does shift the focus a bit. So we got to give it some credit.
Well, of course. I mean, we can understand that, yeah, maybe it's used as a bridge to help people switch to maybe something healthier, but then not become dependent on it. Because you want to make sure you're not dependent on anything. You want to make sure like you're taking care of yourself, where you're independent. And so many people are under the guise that like when they first wake up in the morning, they need that cup of coffee. They can't function without it.
I know many people like
right?
that.
Or they'll need something because they can't function without it. And it becomes so dependent on that when you take that dependency away, they can't function. And we want to make sure we have the least amount of those dependencies so that once we have that independence, then we have more control.
Speaking of coffee, like I used to work in the corporate environment and everybody drank coffee.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that came from. Like, how much coffee can you possibly drink? And why do they need that caffeine to...
Well, the fix, it's a drug. That's why like one a day is okay. But what people tend to do is they do like 3 a day. Right? And they no longer drink water. And so for us, we have to be very cautious not to overdo and become dependent on these things. Right? You may want to enjoy something from time to time, but don't become dependent on it where you feel everything you need is something external.
So is being dependent on something also related to convenience as well?
Of course.
Because I think that like, if we just take a step back and look at food in general and how it's consumed, I mean, in the past 100 years, look at like, I mean, I'm 23, so I only see the 23 that I've lived. Obviously, you have history and stuff, but it's like fast food is more and more popular. Whereas back in the day, that was never a thing.
No, well, they never had it.
So,
but they also never had the sickness and disease that you have today.
So people are like dependent on quick food. Like, I'll just go out and get food. Or I can just I could just stop really quick and get something to eat.
But you call it food, but it's just a filler. Because real food has real nutrition. Real food does not have an ingredients list, a nutrition facts on the back of it, right?
Right. A box.
Right? Or a can.
A logo.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
So real food is real food, right? So make sure we get that clear, right? It's a filler,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you don't want to just have too many fillers. You want to have real nutrition that you absorb, especially when you need performance,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, it's, again, thinking back 100, obviously I'm not 100 years old, but thinking back what they went through, I don't think they ate as much as people consume now. There wasn't that much food.
And look at how their body type, a lot slender,
Mm-hmm.
right? What's on the rise in America?
obesity.
I followed this trend.
Uh-huh.
I know the BMI index.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's getting
Bigger,
bigger.
heavier.
Yeah, bigger, heavier. And we're not talking about chubby. We're not talking about like little chubby kids, right? We're talking about like they're heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're obese, and it's not because of any other trend besides food. Like what else? You're not getting bigger because of air, right? You're not drinking because of water. It's from the food, and it's an epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting sick because they're just overeating and eating the wrong things.
But also the companies say, you know what, we want as many people to consume as many of products as possible. So we put as many available as possible in front of you, and what you consume, you consume.
When I was growing up, chip flavors, there's only a few. Now it is a rainbow.
There's a whole aisle that's 100 feet long dedicated to it.
Just, candies are different, soft drinks or pop. I've never even realized how many flavors they can possibly create, but it is. They want you to keep consuming, and it's addictive.
That's what they want you to be.
Yeah, exactly. If it didn't taste good, nobody would buy it. And I know people talk about drugs of like cocaine and crack and everything else, but food's a drug. Trying to get somebody to stop eating something that's unhealthy, it's very difficult. And that's why they replaced it with this, with the Beyond Burgers. And
So let's replace it with something even greater and greater and greater, so that we can regain that health we once had.
so how would somebody who's so fixated on eating all this food transition themselves into a healthier diet?
Well, that's why they talk to me, right? Get on the call, number one. Number two, that's when we go over things like fasting, as to why you need certain types of fasting to give that reset to the body, right? And then also to make sure like you have a very good healthy routine regimen where you're disciplined to know you're going to exercise at this time, meditate at this time, eat at this time, how much you're going to have. All of that is precisely calculated to ensure that you have the best plan possible to get the results you want.
I was just thinking back when we first met.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge meat eater. I
And
ate a lot of meat.
and dessert.
And dessert, yes. Yeah. Junk food, meat, everything else.
Yeah.
I was there, and I looked at vegans. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to just become a vegan and eat vegetables. There's no way. But after our chat, it just switched.
But were you forced?
No, you couldn't force me. I don't think anyone can force me, except for my wife, maybe.
But you were given education.
That's right. For me, it has to make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
If it makes sense, then I'll consider doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If it absolutely makes no sense, then there's no way I'm going to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you shared with me, I'm not going to share it with everyone else here, but
Yeah.
whatever you shared with me made enough sense where I was able to make that switch.
And again, we're not saying everyone has to be exactly like us, but we do want to promote better health. We do want people to get healthier.
Well, I think that's what the call is all about, though, because it's unique to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's unique to what you're going through and
Your body type.
your blockages,
Yeah.
blind spots. I mean, everything. And it's so beyond like physical. It's also mind and soul. So for me, like I had the intention. I was like, I'm changing my diet. Like before I met Herman, I actually started to see some of the videos, and that's when never just came out and said change your diet, but it was more so me understanding where I was at in terms of my health, and I just wanted to get healthier.
And it wasn't good. Right?
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better,
Yeah.
so I'm grateful for that.
right? So we just want the best for everybody, right? So for those that are listening, let us know what your thoughts are. We want you to also be as healthy.
Exactly.
And also, share your thoughts. I want to know what they think about this whole trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you tried one?
Yeah. It's okay.
Because I don't think none of us have tried like the Beyond Burger or the Impossible Burger. Like I said, I've made my own homemade one, but it's almost like a rare occasion because, like you said, the way it's cooked, it's not like the healthiest thing. So, but yeah, I mean, we would love to know what your thoughts are, and just leave a comment below and let us know. Let's keep the conversation going. And are there any other questions or thoughts?
No, I just wanted to get that out because there's friends who are asking me about it, and I see how well the companies are doing. So it's a wave coming. I mean, they're selling out.
And I even seen the stock, like the Beyond Meat, because they went public not too long ago, and they had earnings probably like a month ago. I could be wrong on my timing, but they announced their earnings, and the stock like popped like $20 or $30 after the market closed. So obviously they had a good earnings call. You know, they showed good numbers and growth and things of that nature for people to value the company and value the stock to be that much higher. So it's a huge trend, and
I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Likewise. So be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.